All right, so I wanted here at the piano to take a run through a tutorial type video and see what it would look like to show you how to play something that I have grown to enjoy playing immensely over the past several months of playing. This was a song that started writing shortly after an auto accident that messed up my neck horribly. The concussion and the concussion syndrome that followed, I was really unable to do any of my normal functions, especially cognitively. And I found that playing piano helped to rewire my brain and to bring some things back together for me. My playing style changed quite a bit, and so this tutorial is going to be rough because I'm still learning what it is that I'm doing and how to explain that, much less how to really understand it myself so that I can master it fully and be able to play and sing at the same time, which is something that you'll see in the video is a little bit of a problem for me. And so I abandoned singing very quickly in the video and just focus on the playing to try to show something of what it is that I've been discovering about myself and about piano and enjoying about this song particularly. The hardest part is it's born out of that kind of that sense of shame that we can feel about sharing what's going on in our lives. And there's that verse over there in James, I think it's 5:16 or 17, where it says that when we confess to each other the stuff that's going on in our lives and we share that with each other, that's where healing comes from. And so, once again, in this ancient biblical text, we have this concept of voicing our feelings to someone else and how that is therapeutic for us, of sharing our challenges. And this is something that psychology would not find until modern ages. And it's just amazing to me. Now, there's a spiritual component behind sharing our faults one with another, sharing our struggles one with another, and the healing that comes from that. There's a healing in relationship, there's a healing of our psyche, there's a healing of our soul that comes from confessing and asking for the prayers and the thoughts of others. But this song is about that. Sometimes it really is the hardest part of healing is letting on to someone else that there's something wrong in the first place. And we want to hide that part of us. And that's what this song is about. When I'm starting to spiral and I am feeling too intensely the emotions that I'm feeling, I want to find some way to kind of numb out and be somewhere else in my thinking. There's kind of this existential thing that starts happening in me, and I try to numb that out because I can't do what I need to do. I can't accomplish what I need to accomplish if I'm feeling those feelings too deeply. And the answer is to get those feelings out and to share those, and then I'm able to operate more peacefully. But when I'm not thinking straight, I just want to stuff it. And so that's, when I'm feeling, I numb it because there's nothing I can do. A lot of times I feel like the part of me that I'm fleeing and trying to get away from and trying to run towards the loving arms of God, the harder I run, the more I seem to become that thing. You think about the videos of little kids riding a bicycle, and they're looking at and trying to avoid the mailbox, and the very thing they're trying to avoid, it's like they're attracted right to it. And sometimes in my spiritual walk, I feel that way. There are things that I'm trying to avoid, and I just run headlong right into them. And so, when I'm feeling, I numb it. When I'm fleeing, I become it. There are parts of my past that when I'm just sitting around in the day, I can close my eyes, and all of a sudden I'm taken back to a deep failure or back to a deep sense of shame or guilt, and I want to close it out. And I even in my waking dreams, I can't get away from the person that I used to be, and that can really weigh on a soul. And if I could just not breathe, I can just be done with all of this. But then I'm gonna panic. I'm gonna come back, and the chances are pretty good that the things that I repent of, I'm going to have to repent of again and again and again. And thank God for the grace of God that helps us overcome that. So that's kind of the message of this song. I think it's important that we know that there are things wrong in our lives, because how can we improve otherwise? And it gives me comfort to read, say, David in the Psalms and see his failure and his struggle, or Paul when I don't think he's speaking hyperbolically. I think he's showing us who he is when he's like, man, the things I want to do, I just can't do. The things I don't want to do, I end up doing. What a wretched, horrible person I am. But for the grace of God, and it's grace of God, it's that grace that carries us through. So that's what this song is about, and it's fun to play. It's pretty demanding to sing, especially towards the second half. I don't know in the final analysis if I'll recut the original vocal that I did or not, because it has good energy, it has good emotion. I can clean up a little bit of the imperfections in the tuning without doing too much violence to it. But I really like it about like it is. If I do another take of it after I do the piano and get the official final piano down, then I'll really try to stay with the original feel and the original emotion. Just because when we write songs, our hands aren't quite up to the task necessarily of playing them the way that we will eventually feel them. But I found that almost always that first recording that I do of a song vocally is about the best emotional take as I'm going to have of it, because as I polish out the tuning, as I polish out some of the lines in singing a song over and over again, it's hard for me to hold on to that original emotion. You know, they say you can only have a first once, and you can never get back to that first. You can never get back to the first time you owned a car. You can never get back to the first time you had sex. You can never get back to the first time that you felt the pride of being picked first for something. And you can never get back to the first time that you sang a song that you wrote. And so I like to capture the emotion of that first take as quickly in the process as possible, and really pay attention to be better and better at it. I hope that this blesses you in some kind of way. I love you. I look forward to talking to you again soon. Bye. Okay, so I thought I'd do a quick tutorial on the hardest part. This is the song that starts out and show you some of the little tips and tricks that make it fun for me to play. I hope that it's fun to listen to. The first thing is this bouncing left hand. You know, let me start before that. We're coming up. We've got this D minor chord, and it's in just full position, and then we're walking up the bass as we come to C, and so we're putting that in the first inversion, and then coming to the F, and this little, and back to C, and then G, that same C in first inversion on the way back down, which really kind of carries a heavy minor feel down to that D minor again, that D minor 9, and then this little going to the C, and then that borrowed B flat and down to the F, and then this double hit on the G. And so that's the introduction. I'll play it all together real quick. Then that gives way into the the verse, which is actually a chorus. It sounds like a verse when you're coming into it, but it's actually a chorus when it goes into the. Sometimes the hardest part of letting go is letting on. And that, for me to sing that and play it at the same time, I'm still not quite yet there. So this is one of those that the playing, when it's done with the left hand doing what it's supposed to do, is a little distracting for my mind still yet at where I'm at in my recovery from an accident. And so we've got this. A to F to C to G. So we're doing what you would normally do in a kind of almost a 50s doo-wop or a rock song, where you've got the one, except we're moving in the minor of it. So this moving back and forth in the right hand is a lot of fun. It's not too hard. It's just 3 notes at a time, and doing a duet and then the bass note to pull that together. Now in the bass, we've got, this is what's going on in the actual tune. And so when we put that together, there in that flow, the first time the right hand is just straight, but the second time, because of what's going on the left, we have to move the thumb in the right hand to meet the left. Watch it again. First time. There. So you want to keep that in mind if you're going to try to play this. Play all the way through the verse this time. You see, we're going down and grabbing that major 3 when we come out of the. And that's one of my favorite techniques from an old artist, Christian artist named Keith Green, who's a pianist, and that it's very classical. It's a moves you back in with that leading tone coming off the G sharp back into the A minor chord, and then we're also, as we're doing that, we're bouncing the bass hand then to add some rhythm, to add some urgency to it, and then going into the final section of that first verse, just the really heavy doubled octave there. So again. and the playing in the right hand. So that kind of almost a lullaby feel, and in the left hand, we're going to have increasing movement. So we start out with like this. Back to that introduction. So I just want to go over real quick. We've got this kind of a suspended 9 on that F. So that's F, G, B, C. We're coming up just the circle of fifths there in the left hand. We're walking up to this 9 chord, A9. G, B, C over an A. The same circle of fifths. And then we've got the leading tone in the bass to resolve back up. So there's a 9 chord again. To stab those pickup notes in the bass hand. The second time, I'm sorry, it's that kind of movement, picking up the note. So again. Sometimes I'll just go straight to the, sometimes I'll walk it down. So with the so let's go ahead and look at what that what I think of as kind of the secondary chorus, because this song really has like a chorus that's a verse that repeats, and then this interlude, it's kind of softer bridge type section, and then moving into, I guess, the chorus proper, which repeats, but then we go back to the verse, which is the same lyric, but it takes on new meaning because of the chorus. So we'll call this the chorus for now. This. And in the rough version that I've done and that I've uploaded, it does not have near this amount of movement to it. It does not have near this amount of sophistication. I've been practicing this song for a little while now, and putting together the moving bass line. That little movement right there is a lot of fun. So I'm doing splitting it up in the stride hand here, if you will, this bouncing bass. So we've got and it comes off sounding like. almost a journey type of feel there, except it's broken up in the left hand. And in the right hand, again, we're taking those block chords and just putting a whole lot of movement in them. To a musical interlude that does not have any words in it, coming out of that chorus. So we get to that third phrase. Kind of take it down. Again there. So what we're doing there, when we come out of the chorus and we come back to that kind of verse lick, it picks up in the second half of the verse. We actually sing it again, but in the first half it's just this. So moving from the A down to the F and increasing in volume as we go through that each time, and then going down to the D, except this time instead of a D minor, we're going to the D major, which is intended to lift the feel. It also intensifies the energy and gives us, it's not just a straight beat. I've used this in another song. I like to shift around the sense of rhythm there a little bit, and then come up to the F natural, and then again down to that Keith Green major 5 to the minor 1, or major 3 to the minor 6, if you will. So we come out of that. Stride hand again, and I've got a vocal lick there. Eventually there will be a guitar solo in there as we go back into the first half of the chorus, and the whole chorus is running, but there's something different happening in the left hand and the right hand than the first time. But we have the chord progression, which feels like the same song, and then we come into where the vocal comes in. So I wake up every morning, that section there. So again, coming out of the now, I love what's going on when the that rhythm in the left hand ties back to the chorus, of course, but also how that frees up the right hand. So watch this. At the very end, it just comes back around to the there it is. So we're going to try to go through the whole song in one take. Originally, for the rough version, I just put together the sections in GarageBand, and then once I was happy with the section, I move on to the next one. So each section is a live take that has a little bit of quantize smoothing done to it. But when I get to the final take of this and do it for production, it'll all be a single take. And maybe we'll get close today. This will just be another practice.